Over the Labor Day weekend, thousands of hotel workers walked off the job after their contract talks broke down. On Sunday, around 10,000 hotel workers walked off the job at 25 hotels in 8 different cities, including San Diego, Seattle, San Francisco, Boston, and Honolulu. The workers, represented by Unite Here, they work for the Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt hotel chains. And on Monday, those workers continued that strike, demanding higher pay and the reversal of pandemic-era budget cuts, including wanting to resume automatic cleanings of rooms. So now, remember, the hotel industry during the pandemic was in a pretty bad way, okay? They made huge cutbacks on staff, on pay, and on services. So now that's essentially over. I mean, look, COVID's not over. It's still out there. People are still dying from it. Not as many as before because we do have, vaccines and we do have things like that. But more people are dying from COVID than during a bad flu season. So it's not the same as the flu. It is very aggressively mutating, coming up with new variants, seemingly every few months. All right. So COVID's not over. All right. It's just nobody cares anymore. There's no travel restrictions or anything like that. In fact, the industry itself has actually hit a huge recovery, unlike some of the COVID patients, okay? They're out there making record profits again. There is one thing, of course, that has not recovered: pay, okay? Pay, which is actually also driving another issue, okay? Now, before I get to that, some of the workers, people like Francisco Tobias, who said he'd been working at the hotel for about 30 years. They're striking for better pay, better health care, a pension, and respect. It used to be you'd actually make some pretty good money in the hospitality industry. Yeah. Now, he says, quote, after the pandemic, they just don't care. They just want to make the money, save the money, but nothing. They don't give us anything. So it's true. I mean, a lot of the pandemic era cutbacks, for workers who took the cuts, worked in these very dangerous at the time conditions, okay, with massive risk of getting sick or having to, get laid off and lose their jobs. They took these painful cuts, and then the company's like, oh, everything's good. We're making record profits again. All right, well, we're just not going to restore any of that. You accepted a cut, and now that's ours. We're just going to take it. That's what a lot of these companies did. Okay, they have not restored anything, at least not without a fight. And so finally, hotel workers, they're putting up that fight, and I love it. Now, some of the workers, getting here, like Francisco, are joined by his son, Kevin, okay, who's also an employee at the hotel at the strikes. In fact, Kevin says, growing up, I saw that, working in this hotel in particular, you can make a living. But I feel like in recent years, especially since the pandemic, that's not the case anymore. The dollar is harder to get, and it gets you less. So we're out here trying to improve our lives. Now, Unite Here International President Gwen Mills said, quote, many can no longer afford to live in the cities that they welcome guests to, and painful workloads are breaking their bodies. We won't accept a new normal where hotel companies profit by cutting their offerings to guests and abandoning their commitments to workers. So, yeah, look, these companies have seen, again, a miraculous recovery. Record profits. And yet, here we have workers that are not really getting the full fruits of that, okay? And now, here's the thing, too, the other issue, right? Staffing. Turns out, they need staff. They need staff. And they're saying, well, because we need staff, we're, trying to raise wages. Really hasn't been enough to really, get these new workers to, actually come in and start working for you. Apparently, it's not enough if you have no new workers coming in, or very few, and existing workers having to go on strike because they literally cannot afford to live. So you might want to do something about that. Now, Hospitality Investor reported that there were massive shortages in staffing for hotels. Kevin Carey, interim president and CEO of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, told the online publication, quote, staffing will remain a significant challenge for U.S. hotels in 2024. He noted that hotels are projected to add about 45,000 employees this year, but the total labor force will still be down nearly 225,000 workers from 2019 levels, when the industry employed 2.36 million people. Well, so that's kind of where you're getting a lot of your record profits, okay? I mean, yes, raising prices, lowering your share of labor costs, okay, which is a pretty big part of any business is your labor. You got to pay your workers, right? Well, massive profits. So, I mean, they're not exactly, I think, hiring as many people as they claim that they need, which means they're stretching out their current workforce pretty much to the limit without also raising their pay. So you see why these people are going on strike. They need to. And so there seems to be a pretty obvious solution here. You either raise wages for workers, okay, which will attract more people to work in the workforce, and also solve your problem of striking workers. You can either do that or just do nothing and then complain why people just, nobody wants to work. I mean, your choice, hotel industry, hoteliers, what will it be? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.